Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Bricky here. My first time back inside of Disney's California Adventure. Last 2 weeks, we walked through land by land of Disneyland, doing the designer walkthrough tour, looking at all the different design details that make up the land, documenting everything for spring 2021. And now it's time to go land by land inside of Disney's California Adventure, document it all for historical record so we can track how these parks evolve. Let's do our first ever walk through Buena Vista Street, fully operational after spending so many nights here. DCA keeping the magic alive, telling its own story during the 2020 global pandemic. I have to say, I always did love Disney's California Adventure. Always loved DCA, but the heavy lifting that it did during the pandemic for free DCA is just unbeatable. How they were able to open up DCA as a free experience for all and to allow everyone to really get to enjoy just being inside of a Disney park. And as we can see, back in the day, this was all closed. It's finally open. We can go inside of there. But do you remember all of the times that we spent back in this nook by ourselves? Not a cast member or option of anything in sight. This was a no man's zone. And now it's back alive with cast members. And it's just the little things that you now really take advantage of. Something I was thinking about today. Now that the red car trolley is still not operational, and tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong on this, but I'm trying to think, is Buena Vista Street, is this the only land that doesn't have an attraction in the two parks? Now you could maybe say the Pacific Wharf is a land. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. I mean, I guess it is a land. It's a land of food courts. But I'm so curious, has this become currently the only land that doesn't have any attractions? Not one. If the red car trolley comes back to life, then yes, it counts again. Love these little mosaics all around. So much great tile work. And one of my favorite spots to hang out during the pandemic, over here on the porch, when I could just kind of watch everybody go by. I tell you, I have such a love for this land and for what DCA did for all of us over the course of last November, December, when it got real sad when the food got shut down, and then in January when it had to close up so it could reopen in February to give us free, or not free DCA, when then it would eventually open back up to bring online Touch of Disney, the food festival that Disney put on that wasn't a food festival, that some would say maybe came much later than the competitors, but I would say came when the time was appropriate for Disney to feel like they should do it. I will say this though, I cannot wait until we see the monorail coming back across this bridge. Once again, just giving that synergy over to Buena Vista Street. That'll be so nice when we see it come back across, this baby version of the Hyperion Bridge that actually exists up in Los Angeles. But man, oh man, did I become so familiar with every little detail coming through here night after night, just trying to hold on to whatever magic we could. And a little baby partner statue inside of there. As we come up the trolley treats, remember how excited I would get about showing everybody all the different trains that exist inside of the window. Doesn't look like it's operational right now. But wow, Buena Vista Street really did us all an extreme solid. When we needed some Disney magic the most, it was a friend for us. And I have so much footage, historical footage, of catching it in a way that hopefully we never ever see it again. Oh, does it feel good to be back in here without everything covered in lines just for shopping. Oh, look at the planter all decked out for spring. Do I love seeing this? A beautiful sign of progress. One of the reasons why I wanted to do the designer walkthrough tour videos every season is to be able to document just how the park changes season to season. In some lands, we won't find a ton of change, but every now and again, every land goes through a massive transformation when something big is getting ready to happen. And that's why next week on the channel, it's an Adventures Campus Week, all week long, looking at the design, the storytelling, the past history of the land that we'll come to know as Adventures Campus. And the big grand finale will be the end of the week when I'm here doing a live stream on the opening day, making sure that if you're not able to make it out to Disney's California Adventure, that you do get to see that flying Spider-Man in the sky. Because Disney has a habit of sometimes doing these things on opening day and then never doing them again. Formerly the elephant pedestals. This actually is where Buena Vista Street ends and Hollywoodland begins. But there used to be two giant elephants on top of these pedestals. I'm going to back up so you can get a better view of them. My question for you is this: what would you like to see on top of these pedestals? Would you like to see a big bronze Mickey and Minnie? Would you prefer a big Walt and Roy? Walt and Lillian? I do believe that there needs to be a Lillian Disney statue somewhere inside of Disneyland. And I'm just trying to figure out the perfect spot. I was thinking that the perfect spot for the Lillian Disney statue would be here, but it would be very rude if Lillian statue got removed for the Christmas tree and the Headless Horseman, both of which I hope are showing up and will be perfectly timed for our fall and holiday walkthrough. But maybe the perfect spot for Lillian if a young Walt and Mickey are right there, then maybe I've answered my own question. And the perfect spot for a Lillian Disney statue would be right inside of this courtyard here.
Really?
I could see that. I could see Lillian mounded up, standing in there with this canopy of trees around her. All the flowers groomed to lead up to the woman that said, really? You just sold our Palm Springs home to pay for your amusement park? All right. I mean, I know my wife. I know how understanding Beth would not be if I sold our Palm Springs home to pay for a theme park. But especially me, because I have no history of doing anything like this. So with Walt, it made a little bit more sense. So we can understand why Lillian was cool with it. But man, oh man, you figure she at least deserves a statue. Carthay Circle with the welcome back insignia on its marquee. I do wish this Carthay Circle was just a little bit taller. But I do love how it symbolizes the bookends and greatness that is Walt Disney's career. Starting here with Snow White, the first big project that really put the company on the map. And then if we travel down Buena Vista Street, work our way through the Esplanade, down Main Street, we would eventually make our way to Sleeping Beauty's castle, the last big bookend in greatness. I love the relationship these two buildings have of not only being an amazing timeline, your first big gamble and your last big win, but how it truly symbolizes this guy right here and the journey that he went on, and how this young, friendly Walt Disney that we can walk up to and get a photograph with is so much different than the older, more prestigious Walt Disney, covered around a walkway with flowers up on a pedestal. A whole different vibe you would find this man generations later and several projects later. You can see they've built these stages on each side of the hub and the fountain where characters can come in and just get that height advantage so that people can do the socially distanced photos. But after all that time of being here with no characters around, it is so nice to see the citizens of Buena Vista Street return. Man, what a magical time to be a fan, to miss all this for so long and then to slowly get it all back. It just feels so fantastic. Friends, it feels so good to be back in DCA. All week long, we'll be looking at all the design details. I know Buena Vista Street, I feel like I've maybe abused some of these design details, but I wanted to bring you back in and I wanted to share with you sort of how I learned to fall in love with everything that Buena Vista Street and DCA did for us during the roughest of times of being a Disneyland fan. Friends, I'll be here doing it again tomorrow, taking you deeper into the park. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this, please give a thumbs up, leave a comment below. And if you like the channel, consider subscribing. Every time I'm at the park, I always go live and want to do. I love that you're with me. Thank you to my Club 1313 members. Until the next time I see you walking down Buena Vista Street, I'll see you back on the channel with more Disneyland news.